please, you have to listen to me. I know you're used to me bringing you these enthusiastic, structured explainers about fascinating topics, but today, ma'am, today is different. I'm literally recording this from a dark corner. This explainer, it isn't a typical show. It's a desperate survival log, a compilation of data I've frantically gathered while hiding from things that just absolutely shouldn't exist. I've organized this intel into slides because, honestly, the structure is the only thing keeping my mind from completely unraveling right now. Okay, let's dive into this because our lives literally depend on understanding exactly what is out there.
The tale just kept going. It never ended. Guys, this is from the only survivor of an expedition into level 7. I really need you to understand the impossible scale of the horrors we're facing here. We are not dealing with regular predators, okay? We're dealing with colossal entities that completely defy reality. And this quote just tragically illustrates that to them, we are literally nothing but ants.
Okay, I need to keep my voice down. Section 1, Shadows and Mind Traps. We're looking at entities that trick your very mind before they even strike. We're talking about the Titan Smilers, the Ephantines, and the Memory Worms. Trust me, if you don't know their rules, you are not going to survive the night.
You absolutely must follow these steps to survive. Look, a team of construction workers renovating an abandoned hospital found out about step 1 the hard way. They ended up in this corridor that wasn't on any blueprint, and when one worker shined a flashlight into the dark, he saw a glowing white smile and 2 small white eyes, the Titan Smiler. This thing has pitch black skin, long razor-sharp claws, and stands at an estimated 15 meters tall. It's totally obsessed with light. It charged the beam, and only one worker made it out. So avoid using lights. Which brings us to step 2. Never trust distant lampposts. Travelers crossing the heavy mud plains of level 144 during a storm followed these distant lights, thinking they were outposts. Well, a lightning flash revealed they were actually Ephantines. These are 20-meter-tall, colossal humanoids covered in indigo, fish-like scales, and patches of mold. They have these hollow, spherical heads with completely missing faces, and that is exactly where the light beams come from. Now, most of the time they just ignore us, but when they hunt, they switch off their lights and silently pursue their prey. Which leads right into step 3. If that distant light suddenly goes out, run. It's already searching for you.
These entities build literal psychological horrors. Imagine you suddenly experience the comforting smell of your childhood home, or you hear familiar voices calling your name. It's exactly what happened to a wanderer in a concrete corridor who thought he was finally going home. The fear of the backrooms just started fading away. But the reality? The illusion completely shattered, the ground shook, and what he thought was safety was actually a nest of rotting flesh. Emerging from the darkness was this colossal pink worm with a spiraling mouth full of rotating teeth. It literally manipulates your memories to lure you right into its jaws. So, if sudden nostalgia overwhelms you out here, ignore the familiar voices and leave the area immediately. 300 meters. Let that sink in. That is the terrifying estimated length of the memory worm hiding just beneath the concrete. 300 meters of teeth and rotting flesh just waiting for you to feel safe.
We gotta keep moving. Section 2, Horrors of the Water. Down in the damp, terrifying environments of level 400, level 7.8, and level 7, the rules of survival completely change. There is one rule you absolutely must memorize. If you hear knocking beneath your floor after sunset, do not answer it. A young boyfriend and girlfriend in level 7.8 ignored this. 3 heavy knocks echoed from beneath their floorboard. The boyfriend stepped outside with a lantern to check it out, and the house actually began to move. Long wooden legs unfolded from beneath it and just rose right out of the water. And looking around, the whole village was doing the exact same thing. It wasn't a village at all. It was a herd of sea walkers. They are literally living houses standing on 4 long bird-like legs, kind of resembling the legendary house of Baba Yaga. And they're estimated to be 70 meters tall. If your house begins to move, you have to leave immediately, no questions asked. Now, an attack on level 7 builds with agonizing dread. Think about this. A team of explorers drifted across freezing black waters for 6 days, passing gigantic skeletons just floating in the darkness. Then, on night 7, the ocean suddenly went completely silent. The waves stopped, the current vanished, just dead quiet. Moments later, a glowing yellow light appeared in the water below. But it wasn't just a light, it was a lure attached to a massive mouth filled with huge teeth. It was the apex predator of the endless ocean, basically a nightmare mix of an anglerfish and a deep-sea lizardfish completely covered in spikes.
Whether it's Lacamaloha, which is this 30-meter black featureless humanoid from level 400 that rises from the sea like a living mountain, or the thing on level 7, which is estimated at an unfathomable 250 meters, they both share one absolutely crucial warning sign: unnatural silence. The fishermen of level 400 know for a fact that when the ocean becomes completely dead silent, you lower your head and you stop speaking. Unnatural silence is the ultimate warning sign for both of these aquatic horrors. Honestly, if the ocean goes calm, you are already in the strike zone. Okay, Section 3, the giant red storm. Because it's not just the water and the shadows you have to worry about. You have to watch the sky. If you are ever driving or walking and you see what looks like a transmission tower in the distance, well, it might be something much, much worse. 3,500 meters. Just try to wrap your mind around that number for a second. That is the mind-bending estimated height of the entity known as the Mangled. It is so unimaginably large that despite its size, it can cross entire areas within minutes. You have got to recognize the warning signs. A group of friends driving late at night saw what they thought was a tower. Then, this thick red fog rolled in. Red lightning began flashing across the sky. And with a flash of that red lightning, they saw the terrifying truth: a colossal human face with pitch-black eyes and a wide-open mouth emitting this deeply distorted, wind-like sound. The whole thing was suspended high above on a monstrous spider-like body covered in sagging flesh over bone. Its enormous limbs were literally crushing everything beneath them in the streets. If you take anything away from this, never look too long at moving shapes in the red fog. Just turn around and escape. Look, I've put together this summary table. Take a screenshot, write it down, burn it into your memory right now. This is your desperate checklist for survival, and guys, time is running out. Sudden nostalgia? Ignore the voices. Red fog and lightning? Don't look at distant shapes. Dead silent ocean? Stop speaking and lower your head immediately. But, man, I have to be honest with you here. As organized as I've made this survival log, as much as I really hope this explainer saves your life, literally none of these evasion tactics matter against our final threat. Section 4, the Cosmic End. This is the entity that doesn't just hunt wanderers, it consumes entire landscapes. 400 billion kilometers. It is a completely incomprehensible size. Survival is truly genuinely hopeless when you encounter NAL-06. Researchers aboard a space station in level 78 were studying it. NAL-06 is literally a sentient black hole that you can see with the naked eye. While studying it, their instruments detected these massive energy spikes, and the black hole started emitting powerful beams of light. A researcher touched one and was instantly dragged completely helplessly into the event horizon. Then, the black hole vanished. It relocates throughout different levels. Emergency reports started coming in from elsewhere. Entire landscapes, buildings, and entities were just vanishing without a trace. It consumes everything it touches to use as fuel for endless growth. If you are marked as its target, there are 0 known chances of survival. You must avoid its light beams entirely. The final, harrowing message sent from the researchers right before their station was completely lost to the darkness was this: it isn't trapped in level 78 anymore, it's hunting. Which brings us to the end of this log, and this final, terrifying question. If NAL-06 is no longer trapped, where is it hunting next? Look at your surroundings right now. Check the shadows. Check the sky. Good luck.